Hi all, I'm excited to show you how Bito's AI Architect MCP can help with code generation. Here I'm going to use Claude Code. As you can see, I've already configured Bito AI Architect MCP in Claude. Let me, show you the folder. Here I'm basically generating new code using services which already exist in my organization. So, I need to have knowledge about the services that are there in my organization to build this piece of code. Let me quickly start Claude. So this will start Claude Code. And let me quickly, provide a prompt, which will basically ask Claude Code to generate, CLI in the folder Wingman CLI, which allows me to actually, do a chat by creating a new session using an existing service known as Wingman. Let's hit enter and see what happens. Now out here, if I were to basically do it directly by myself, I'll have to gather the documentation, figure out, the APIs and stuff, and then provide that information if I want to build code which is, going to work. Now here, as you can see, it's already using Bito AI Architect to figure out, what Bito Wingman does or Wingman repository does. So here, I'll basically just say yes, go ahead, don't ask me again, and let's see how it pulls the information uh, about the existing service. As you can see, it's just making multiple calls here and trying to figure out information about Wingman, the specific API routes that I might need. It's basically getting a bunch of information. Let's see whether it goes ahead and understands what is required to build code. As you can see, it basically goes and understands the code patterns, design patterns, APIs, uh, all the information about the repository that your organization has so that you don't have to pull this information. Sometimes you don't even know where to pull it from. Now that it has a clear picture, it will basically, start understanding, does it support streaming, non-streaming, and so on. Now it has basically the understanding and it will basically go and create the CLI. Okay, and I'll say yes, and I'll put it in the accept edits on mode so that I don't have to keep on giving permissions. As you can see, it basically generated the code and it also provided me the instructions, to run the CLI. I can use Node, index.js, provide the, server URL wherein the server is running. And then, if I want to use an existing session, I can do that or basically send a single message and then, you know, set any particular working directory. So, let's basically see whether this, works right out of the box. Now let me go to the terminal and see what command to run. So actually this will start the chat interface. Let me just copy this and let's see if the code works. We are in this particular folder, going CLI is built. We go here, it has installed Node.js packages. Let me paste here. My server is running on port 3500. Let's see if this gets started. Cool. It basically created a session, started a chat interface. Let's see by typing hello. What does it do? Does it connect? Okay. There's a CLI session. I'm Wingman, your coding partner, and then it gives you the details. Cool. Let me check, some basic commands I have in this folder. So I'll say, um, maybe ls minus -ar and see what it does. It should basically execute this command because it's an agent. And it basically gave me the directory structure of the code, index, then you have lib, node modules, package, and all those things, as well as this. So the chat is working, and I'll just quit from the chat. So let's go back here. As you can see, I use Claude Code. Claude Code basically made a bunch of calls to Bito AI Architect because I asked it to implement something using an existing service. So it had to figure out details about the existing service, what it does, what APIs it basically exposes, and how those basically APIs work. So it basically also looked at the code. It basically got the schema. It looked at individual, you know, insights about it. Does it support streaming interface and so on, whether it is, server-side events and so on. After getting all the information, it basically created a plan and then generated code. Now out here the main thing is, because it automatically using Bito's AI architect figured out everything, the code that is generated actually is in line and using the APIs from the services, in your organization without issues, and the code worked, straight out of the box once it's generated. Thanks.